So recently, Bajrang Punia joined the Congress party. There are speculations that he's going to be fighting from the Badli constituency in the upcoming Haryana election. So you thought that his wrestling career was over. Well, then you've got another thing coming, because 30-year-old Bajrang Punia has no plans of quitting professional wrestling. Remember, he won a bronze medal for India at the Tokyo Olympics, could not qualify for the Paris Olympics. But the 30-year-old is still determined to continue, at least for the immediate future, because what he's done right now is actually taken NADA, that's the National Anti-Doping Agency, to court because he wants to participate in the World Wrestling Championship that are to be held in Albania in October end of this year. He wants to participate in that. Currently he's suspended. What's the whole story? Let us give you a bit of a background. Now, on April 18th, 2024, now this was during the national trials to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games, where Bajrang, mind you, lost. He could not qualify. But during that, he refused to give his urine sample. The NADA officials were there. He refused to give his urine sample, and that is a violation. And so a few days later, WADA suspended Bajrang. And then because NADA, I beg your pardon, not WADA, NADA, which is the National Anti-Doping Agency, is recognized by the governing body of wrestling in the world over, which is UWW, United World Wrestling, based on the suspension by, not WADA, this should actually read as NADA, based on the NADA suspension, Bajrang was then banned by UWW as well. So that is exactly how the chain of events happened, and because he was banned, he then could not participate in any wrestling events, but he wants to. What has he done? As I told you, the latest news is that he's gone to Delhi High Court. He's filed a petition there, and what is it that he is alleging at the moment in his petition, which his lawyers have submitted? He's saying that firstly, the doping officer testing him was testing him with expired kits or single kits, and that is against the regulation. That is what Bajrang at the moment is alleging. Interestingly, Bajrang actually pointed this out right after he was suspended. He did put a tweet out explaining his side of the story, and this is what he's telling the court as well, that the officers were testing him with expired kit, which is why he refused to give his samples. Then he said being tested between bouts so that he would lose. He also is alleging conspiracy. He's saying that he was being tested between bouts. Usually the practice is that you take the dope test after the competition is over, but he's saying in his case they were on purpose testing him between bouts so that he loses, and because they were testing him between bouts, he was refusing to give his samples. Then he said non-authorized doping control officers were taking sample. He's saying that, you know, he was asking for their proof, their I-cards and so on and so forth. They weren't showing that to him, and according to him, these were non-authorized people that had been allowed inside. So there was a conspiracy against him, and which is why also he was refusing to give his samples. And finally, what he's alleging is that NADA, you know, has not filed its response to Bajrang's explanation since July 11th, 2024. That's when he gave a written explanation to NADA, and that they have not given a reply and have not given him an hearing as well. They've not allowed to, or have not heard his side of the story, and neither have they given a written reply to his responses. So all in all, these are the major points. Of course, there are a few more other salient points of his petition that is filed in the High Court, but these are the major contentions, these are the major objections that Bajrang Punia and his team are raising. What they want is, they want some sort of a relief from court. If that relief is granted, then Bajrang Punia would effectively be allowed to compete again, and that's his aim. So while he may have joined active politics, he also wants to continue being an active wrestler. What happens in that entire case, we of course will keep bringing you all the latest updates on Sports Today. For the moment, nikhilnaz signing off. Do give us a like on our video and subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't already.